So it's been a second since I last updated this whole situation, and there's a lot of stuff to report. So number one, as always, I will throw up the last video up in the eye because this is part 4, and it's by design also that there are so many pieces to this because I not only want to stretch this out, but like I mentioned in previous videos, I'm using all of the ad money that I make from these videos, which I'll actually divulge at the end of this video how much was made in the first 3 videos. I'm going to use that to go back to victims, but I digress, and let me just go in order. So to pull you guys up to speed, the last time we spoke, we were putting, criminal actions in place and civil action in place against Cody. And what's happened since then, I've been in close contact with my local PD, and now I've been in contact with my local detective department, which I don't even know where they are, but I've been talking to them over the phone, and I'm not going to divulge his name because I didn't ask him if I could, but this detective has now looked at the case, which they said that they would, which my PD said that they would. And he asked me for some extra information, some personal information, which I gave to him. He had me look up some other information on the transaction and on Cody. And he says that there is enough to prosecute criminally. And he wanted to also know what my plans were in terms of civil action. So I let him know that. And I told him that we were going to go after him civilly, locally, where he was at, with the attorney that I have. So with all of that said, the warrant would be good for the state of California. And that's what he mentioned to me. So he's going to pursue that. So if Cody were to ever step into California, he would immediately be arrested if he got stopped by the police. I guess that's one good thing. But really, is it super useful? Because will he ever come here? And now he obviously knows that's because it's out there. The reason why I'm mentioning it is the detective also said, because of his priors, Cody has a rap sheet, not even including what what we're going through. And he says that he is going to recommend this case for extradition, which means they have to actually spend resources to bring people to justice in my state that are in other states. And most of the time they don't pursue that because the larceny, the amount of what was stolen isn't big enough. The dollar amount isn't big enough. But in this specific case, there's so many victims that I showed them and so much information that I gave them, not to mention his priors, that he believes that it would be prudent or worth it to work with the police department in Medford and their detective agency to lobby for extradition. And this isn't something that I can do. So I can't be like, oh, let's extradite him, because it has really nothing to do with me. And it really has to do with the circumstance and the person, and then how motivated the law enforcement agent or agency is to get this person. So that is a super, super positive thing for this case specifically, because that means that they can cross over state lines and get Cody wherever he is. And if he ever gets stopped by the police, or if he gets, whatever happens, essentially the walls begin to close in, which is what I'm looking for in this case, not for me personally, but for the countless people that I've not only read comments from, but also vetted myself. And we're going to talk about that later in the video. So if you are a victim of Cody, I really want you to stick around to the end, because I'm going to share some important information. Along with that, there is the civil portion. So that is the criminal portion. The civil portion is moving forward. The entire, article has been drafted. And now there's a situation of presenting it to him or serving him, per se. We're going to see if he will accept it willingly, which probably he won't. And then if we can just do it through the system to serve him, or if we have to actually spend some resources and have him served by a private company. So all of those things are happening. One thing I will say in this entire process is the judicial system in general moves very slowly, and it really doesn't seem concerned with us and with the situation. That it doesn't feel like me and all the other people that were affected by Cody are a priority in any way. So I just wanted to say that for what it's worth. But that's kind of like, that's a crap feeling. You know, you don't feel like a priority when this whole thing is kind of swirling around and you have so much damning evidence, you know, should be like a slam dunk to anyone looking at it. It just doesn't seem like a priority. So it's been my job to I've followed up with my PD department. I followed up now with the detectives, and always just kind of keeping my finger on the pulse and making sure that they're on task and as best as I can, and kind of bringing more information to them and kind of keeping it on the top of their desk, because I'm sure stuff comes at them every day. So let's talk about Cody. From multiple sources I have heard, and I'm sure people out there can attest to this, is Cody is in hiding. He's not responding to messages. He's not responding to DMs. He's not going to the local, flea markets and events that he usually sells and vends at. So that is a huge positive, because obviously it was natural that he was going to go into hiding, but it's a huge positive because it's narrowing his opportunities to scam people. So that's a really good thing, in my opinion. A lot of people are like, oh, damn, he's hiding and you're never going to find him. Maybe down the road, if everything happens correctly, warrants get placed out for his arrest, and, people are actually looking for him, he will come up for air at some point. Every scumbag goldfish does. So there will be opportunities. I'm just kind of happy that it takes him off of the board in terms of that type of scamming. Now, I would totally urge you guys to be careful, especially for sellers in this area. Not speaking about anyone specifically, anyone else that's in this area, because I'm sure there's good people there. But he will likely create an alias and start selling under a different name and email, and continue the cycle of what he's been doing, because he's going to need money just to live every day and continue to do the things that he does, whatever that is, whatever he's using the money for, if you could imagine. So let's go to the victims and really what's being done financially for people. And I want to show you guys some stuff that is on the back end on my part of things. So like I said, I am going to be using all of the ad revenue from the videos the previous videos that were made, including this one as well. So everyone hate watching at home, and all the hate mail that I've gotten in the comments, which hasn't been a lot, but it's been definitely more than what I'm used to. I want to thank you guys for watching this far, because you are actually helping the victims that I'm talking about in these videos. So thanks you for hating me and hate watching, because we appreciate the pennies that you're contributing to the cause. Video number 1, $641. Video number 2 so far, $671. Video number 3, $452. So grand total of $1,764 free dollars going back to the victims of this Cody scammer. That will be another video where I make these guys whole, because along with the judicial system not working, I am taking it into my own hands as far as, trying to make people whole as much as I can with the money that I have. I'm going to expend as much as I can. Along with that, and you guys are so amazing. This is just my community. I want to give a big shout out to you guys, because really you're obviously a part of this, but you've taken this on your shoulders. I have posted about $25,000 to $26,000 worth of product at last sold listing prices on eBay. This is my own collection, and a lot of people have already bought a lot of it. I'll kind of show a little scroll here. It's everything under the sun, but this is all stuff that's out of my own collection. I am using every one of these dollars towards the victims of, this Cody scammer. And I want to give you guys a big thank you and shout out, because you guys have already bought in so much, because I mentioned it one time during a live event, and you guys have, as you always do, you've taken the weight of the world onto your shoulders, and you've definitely helped out. So thank you guys. I'm going to be shipping all that product out this week, and it is a lot, but I'm not looking for any accolades. I'm going to be, just so we're full disclosure, I'm going to work with my accountant to kind of write all this stuff off as a loss and kind of like charity work. And I'm going to explain to my CPA the whole situation. So it's not like I'm going to be left holding the bag completely. Obviously, I'm not going to have this product anymore, but it's going towards a good cause. And like I said, it's going to be that one time where we all have, well, not all, but I mean, the people that came forward and that I vetted, because there's people that got scammed by Cody out there that obviously haven't come forward. I'm sure it's in the hundreds and in the multi thousands of, over $100,000 easy. So, but for those people that were brave enough to step forward to help me out, to, bring me information, to, show me how they got, really get vulnerable and show me how they got scammed as well, because it's probably not the funnest topic. I'm going to be reaching back out to you guys to make you guys whole, and to, I'm just going to PayPal wire you guys, for those people that I vetted. And, like it maybe will just be one of those one times, and on my, just so you guys know, on my personal thing, where the $7,300 that Cody scammed from me, I haven't even heard back from the credit card companies. I forwarded them the case number for for my local police department. I forwarded them all the information, where all the videos, everything that's going on, and I still haven't heard back from them. And like the pictures of him trying to sell my stuff, it is just not a priority for the credit card company, for the judicial system, for, the site that I do my sales on. It's that part is what's baffling to me, that no one seems to give a crap that this is going on and continuing to happen. And that you're telling me that we can't, we can create electric cars and hoverboard, like all this stuff, put a man on the moon, right? But we can't figure out how to stop this type of scam from happening. Is that what we're talking about? That's the frustrating part. So anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this update. All good things. The moment I have more information, it was 2 weeks since the last update, I will do my absolute best to keep you guys in the know. Share this video out, push it out as much as you can, because like I said, every dollar I'm keeping track of, and it is all going back to the people that stepped forward that got scammed. So until the next one, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you. And yeah, man, I love you guys. Couldn't have done this without you. And the fight continues. I'm going to see this all the way through. I'm on a crusade, and then we'll rest. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.